you can see me going into side perspective, just grabbing all the bones. I do have X mirror enabled, so everything I do on the right happens on the left and vice versa. And I'm just hiding there the top jawbone and the bottom jawbone, as well as the tongue bones, because I'm not going to work with them now. And I've also just hidden the head control bone. Okay, using C to select all the bone points. It's very important because the bones are connected with each other. It's very important if I move it that I don't break the link. So I select the 2 points and I move them together. That's very important here. And you can see on the top there, I do have snapping enabled. This is also important. So I am moving the bones or snapping the bones to the surface of the skin. So these bones should follow the cheeks. So just imagine the skull itself and then try to mimic that. You will see there that I broke the link, which I'm going to go fix now. It's not a problem. Okay, so you select the bone, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then select the other one, and then say selection to cursor. This one's a little bit more difficult. We don't want the left side to go to the right or the right to go to the left. So what we're going to do is we're just going to select it, turn off snapping, and then move it on the Y location, Y axis, sorry. So snapping, you can either toggle it on and off on the top there, or you can, when moving the individual parts, you can just hold in Control, and Control is the shortcut key to enable or disable snapping. And those of you who are watching the series, I've already started creating the actual scene. So this will be like part 8, but I already started creating the scene and animating the scene and animating the character, because the original tutorial series, as I said, was, if you watched part 1, I was just creating that still image, but I'm taking it a step further and I'm actually creating a world, an environment, and I'm busy animating that as well. So that is in the works. And yeah, if that everything turns out well, and if you follow along and you create your own character, rig it, and then later on create your own world, you'll be able to create your own story, which is going to be very awesome for your portfolio. So for instance, you can create a nice demo reel type of thing. So if you can follow this along, and you can use this with some sculpting, because this character, if you apply a, not a subdivision, a multi-raise, and you sculpt over it, I actually done it before, you can sculpt finer muscular details, so pecs, abs, all those types of things. You can, it's very user friendly with that. So you can fully customize and get finer details. So you can actually make veins if you want to, etc., etc. And then you can turn the multi-raise down, animate it, and then when you render it, you can turn it up to 4 subdivisions, for example. Now, regarding the eye itself, I'm gonna link a other channel's video here, and I'm not gonna show you the complete steps of how to create the eye, because the other video already explains it, and he takes his time explaining it. So I'm gonna link that channel's video to create the eye, because it's a very good tutorial, and I'm not gonna steal credit for that one. So all the steps and the assets are in that video. So if you want to create your own eyes, and you don't want to use the model's predetermined eyes, and you didn't delete it in part 1, go watch that tutorial. I'll link it in the description below, and then you can go create your own eyes as well. One thing that does differ from my eyes as opposed to the tutorial that I linked earlier is that I'm using the principled BSDF method, so plugging all my image textures into one node. For those of you who have been working with nodes for a long time, or knows how, just in general, how it works, and you're not a beginner, know that the principled BSDF wasn't always a thing. And the tutorial shown earlier, or which I linked earlier, more precisely, doesn't use the principled BSDF method, and might be more, how can I say, intimidating. So what you can do is, if you don't want to use the other video's method, you can use the principled PSDF method that I'm showing here. You can see I'm just using color ramps to control the blacks and the whites, meaning how reflective or how rough it is. So it just gives you more control over the colors, or the reflectiveness in this case. And what I'm doing here is I'm just selecting the ears because what I already have a skin texture, but I'm going to duplicate the skin texture and take the ears and the nose, put it on its own textures node setup, and I'm just going to give it some subsurface scattering. I just do it this way because I then feel I have more control over it, and later on I will give the normal skin texture, so not the subsurf one, a little bit of its own subsurf as well. So now the ears are nice and red if the light reflects from behind, or shines from behind, sorry, when it shines from behind. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so that was part 3. So again, in this part we have put all the bones in place for the face, and we did some ambient occlusion setup for the nose and the ears. In the next part, what's going to happen is we're going to work on the top jaw, the bottom jaw, the tongue and the eyes, getting that bone setup done. And if I'm not mistaken, we are then going to apply the bones and create a blend rig. And the blend rig is the physical thing that we're going to use to animate and pose the character. And then on the next part after that, we're actually going to start posing the character and then throw it into Marvelous Designer, where we are going to create the clothes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed the video, please like the video. If you didn't enjoy it, dislike the video. And any questions, any concerns, please feel free to comment down below. I will try to answer each and every single question that might come my way. Just know I am working a full-time job. But yeah, like and subscribe. Thank you. Take care. Enjoy.